Hey, welcome back to the Helpful Home Inspector Show. My name is Matt Yake, certified master inspector in this great state of Wisconsin, here to help you better maintain and take care of your home with a live show. And we have a special guest today, Mr. Michael Severson. Dude, you've been under the weather, not doing so hot. You feeling better now, I take it?
Yeah, it was a rough weekend.
I'm glad you're feeling better. You're looking good, dude. When Jen tells me you can't even answer your phone, and
Yeah,
I'm like, oh, Mike can't answer his phone. That thing's usually attached to his hand.
I didn't even know where my phone was.
Yeah, she took it.
She took it. It was
Yeah,
off.
she's like,
It was
Matt,
gone.
I have Mike's phone.
Yeah.
He can't answer.
It was gone.
Yeah.
That was the last thing. I was just trying not to lose it everywhere again.
Yeah. Well, and Michael is not one to miss a shooting outing. And we went out and shot some sporting clays this weekend over at Waukesha Gun Club. Fun time.
Great.
With the Smith boys and Peter and Jeff. So he's not one to miss that, but he was not going to make it.
No.
So that's okay.
No.
We'll go again.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure.
Sounds good.
For sure. All right. So this week we have a lot of fun stuff coming to you. Our main topic of the day is going to be a lot more along the lines of inspector related. And we're going to talk to you about what we carry in our bag on a daily basis. What do we take into every single house we go in to inspect? Yeah, it's a lot of stuff. You'll be surprised. We'll go through it relatively quickly. Some things are very easily explained, while others are going to require a little bit more explanation on how we use them and what they can do for us as home inspectors to help us do a better job for you. We're also going to do your Save a Buck for the week. We're going to talk about your defect of the week. We're going to give you your tip of the week. We even have a intriguing mystery box this week. I know. He's looking over at the mystery box is like... All right, it's fun.
Yeah.
We both have vested interest in this one, so it'll
right.
be. I think it'll be a good battle. I'm curious to see where you'll fall on it, though. I kind of know where I sit, but it'll be interesting.
So you know what's in there already?
She doesn't have like
All
a
right,
list.
now I get the peek.
No. We don't. I don't know which one is in which box. So, but it'll be good. It's adding
I
suspense.
think what we're going to do going forward is we're going to come up with a list, and that way Tammy can just choose from that list.
Okay, but Peter's gotta be in on that part because you don't necessarily understand what all the tools are and stuff like that.
That's fine.
Peter,
can
you up
help
for
me
helping
out.
us out?
She can ask me.
Peter's on there.
Yeah, she can just ask
You
me.
can just ask Mike.
Yeah.
No, that's just the same thing as me knowing. That's not fair. Okay, Peter will help us out. I'm sure he'll answer back. So we got a lot of fun stuff. Let's get into this show today. The first one we have is the defect of the week. The defect of the week comes to you as a warning. Okay, Mike and I come across this more frequently than we would hope to. And for some of you out there, it can be a very expensive repair. For most of you, however, as long as you have not that old of a house, it can be patched or fixed pretty easily. Yeah. And that is
A grill.
What should they not do with their grill?
Not put it up against their house.
Yeah,
Keep it away from your house.
Don't put the grill up against your house, okay? If you want to put it up against your house during the windstorm or when you're not using it, that's one thing, okay? However, putting it up against your house when you're cooking and things like that, not only could you, from the grease of cooking and things, you could burn down your house, okay? But more frequently, just from the heat of the grill, we see melted siding on a regular basis. It's almost always right next to the patio door, right? Because somebody doesn't want to have to go out far to go outside and grill, right? Yep. And it'll be melted or wavy siding. Here's the extreme. Tammy, give us a computer here. So that's an extreme. This is like a dude that wasn't paying attention to his grill, had a grease fire, got out of control, and yeah, he had a bad day. And that's an expensive repair because now you're damaged the sheathing and all that other stuff too as well. Looks like those wires are melted behind it and stuff. That one got out of control fast, and it's plastic, so it
looks like there was powder all over the grill, so the fire extinguisher had to come out for that one.
Maybe.
Powder
Yeah, it does actually. Yeah, so maybe the fire extinguisher came out on that one, but that's rough shape, I tell you. And the looks like the plastic probably caught on fire because it got so hot or whatever and started moving up. And so fire extinguisher probably had to come out, or garden hose. I mean, if you're outside,
it takes charbroiled to a new level.
It does.
Right?
Yeah, charbroiled your house. All right, and then as far as the grill goes, normally when we see this stuff, this is what it's going to look like. So it's just going to be this little slight melting, okay? And that is indicative of being right behind where the grill is. It's got a little opening on the back for venting when it gets too hot and stuff. But that's what it commonly looks like. That's if you had the grill there, that's what it would look like, okay? As long as you just have a small damage area and maybe you have some spare pieces in your rafters of your garage, or if it's relatively new, you can probably still go out and get some to match. And it's paintable and stuff. And then if you see this on your house, this is not from the grill. This is sun flare. So this is concave window, shining bright sun, and makes these streaks that go across there. So that is not melted from the grill, but yeah, we ultimately don't want to have melted siding on your house at all.
No.
Yeah. Not only is it a, damage that has to be repaired, but it's also a way that if it melts or deforms too much, you could get leaking and things like that. So yeah, want to try to avoid that. All right, so don't put your grill up against your house when you're cooking.
Storage is fine, not when you're cooking.
Yeah, and wait till it's cooled down.
Yeah,
wait till it's cooled down because a grill at 500 degrees can still be hot for a while. Yeah, for sure. So don't put your grill up against your house when you're cooking. So with the warmer temperatures coming around,
real quick, it's not a bad idea to have a fire extinguisher on hand.
Not bad either. No, in case in the kitchen.
But
would you want it in the grill? I wouldn't want it in the grill, would you?
No, not in the grill. In the garage, wherever you're cooking. So if it's by a garage or in the house, right by the side door,
if it's
or something,
right on your patio, then have it in the right inside
closet.
the door or in a cabinet.
Somewhere close
So you can get to it.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, because a fire like that can get out of control pretty quickly. Yeah. So save a buck. We're going to save a buck today. To help you save a buck today, we are going to suggest that you keep your air conditioner on all the time when it's going to be warm out again. Yeah. Sometimes people will have a tendency to turn that off or turn it off while they're gone to work or whatever, And if you do that, what ends up happening is your house fills up with a lot of moisture and things. And your house, when you want to air condition your home, the first thing your air conditioner has to do is get rid of the moisture. If it doesn't get rid of the moisture, if it's not dry in your home, it can't cool the air down. So it has to get rid of all the moisture. Now, what you can do is you can adjust your air conditioner temperature a little bit to not run all the time, okay? But you don't want to turn it off completely if you want to have it cool when you come home. The only time you would want to turn it off is if you're going to open the windows and let Mother Nature, cool you off.
That's what I tell people all the time is your air conditioner is the biggest natural dehumidifier to your entire house.
Yep. Yeah. It'll help keep it dry. And here in Wisconsin, we produce a lot of humidity. All on our own. As far as adjusting the temperature on your air conditioner, it's going to save you a couple bucks, okay? But also by not turning it off is going to save you money because when your air conditioner wants to come back on after you've turned it off, it has to work extra hard to get all that moisture out of your home in order to actually cool down your home. And it has to run for a lot longer as well. If you just leave it on and you set it to a higher temperature a little bit, it'll run occasionally for little periods of time, but that's better than running constantly for an hour and a half trying to get your house cool again, So just turn it down a little bit. The only time you remember to turn it off is if you're going to let Mother Nature cool you off, or you aren't going to be running it again for a number of days or more than at least 24 hours. All right. So that is your save a buck for this week. All right. The co-host question of the week. We started endeavoring into sewer scoping a number of months ago, which we had not previously. We had talked about it like for years. We talked about it.
Yep.
But it's an incredibly expensive camera, and I wasn't looking forward to doing them. To be brutally honest with you,
I figured that's why it took so long.
Yeah,
to get one.
I mean, playing around in a poop chute for a half hour, not my cup of tea. But now that
you're not in it.
No,
you're just wearing gloves.
I'm wearing gloves, but there's sometimes little spickle spattle as you're taking the thing out and some yuck water shakes off onto you. Or every time I have a job where I do a sewer scope, my clothes all get washed. There's nothing getting reworn again after that. Okay,
I have kids, so maybe I'm a little more tolerant.
True.
That,
true. But with
little kids,
yeah. So they're swapping boogers at daycare and bringing it all home anyway. So you're getting whatever is out there. But with the sewer scoping, now that we've been doing it for a while, what have we learned?
There are a lot more problems with the sewer laterals than
we thought. Yeah. Remarkable that when we go through and doing a home inspection, the problems that we've been finding in sewer laterals and things like that. without using the sewer scope would never have been detected.
No.
Yeah. I mean, there's in some of them we've come across where there's almost complete root blockages, but because there's enough room for the water to get through,
it flows.
Yep. And we didn't get it backups or anything during the whole inspection. But then when we go to do the sewer scope, we can see that there's all kinds of roots. There's cracked tile and broken sewer line, and man, it's a $8,000 to $15,000 repair if you dig it up and replace the pipe. Yeah. Probably $3,000 to $6,000 reline if you choose to shoot a expanding liner through there, right?
Yeah, depending on the length of run and stuff, Yeah. And yeah, I mean, I had one. I ran the sewer scope out. It was almost 100 feet, and there was multiple sections where there was bellies, and there was just stuff sitting in the pipe. And I finally got to 100 feet, and it dropped down.
By stuff, he means toilet paper and yuck and other
anything that you'd flush down the toilet.
Yeah,
So,
or down the shower or down the drain.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And then I finally got to a point where it was dropping down into the lateral, and there was just a big clump of stuff, and everything flowed, but I got to that point, and it's like, the pipe is...
Well, and when we're doing the inspection, generally speaking, we're not putting stuff down the drain. No. We're just putting water down the drain. A lot of water.
Yep.
I mean, we run every faucet for 3 minutes, every shower for 3 minutes, flush every toilet 3 times.
And a lot of it simultaneously.
Yeah, all at the same time. And, without getting backups, there's no way to know that there was a problem in there unless we stick the sewer camera in there. Mm-hmm. And, it's something that we offer at a bargain at $200 after discount, after preferred realtor discount. When we call up, before we were doing the sewer scopes, if somebody wanted one done or whatever, and we would call up to find out what it would cost or whatever, $450 to have a plumber come out and run a sewer scope. No repairs or anything involved with that. That's just doing what we do. Yeah. And granted, it only takes about half hour, 40 minutes ish, to bring the camera in, run the line, clean everything up, whatever, and get it back out to the truck. But then there's processing the video and taking the pictures and putting them in the report, all that stuff that goes along with that.
Yep.
But at $200, if it saves you $8,000 to $15,000, holy cow. And some people are okay with, hey, I have a tree in the front yard. I know I'm going to have roots. I'm going to have to grind it out every 3 years. And I'm just going to assume that that's just a regular expense that I'm going to have to consume until that pipe fails completely, and then it's a rip it up and go from there.
But if you catch it soon enough, rather than replacing it, like you were talking about, you can have it relined.
Yeah.
If it collapses completely, then it's tear it out and redo it.
Yeah, and relining is a pretty cool process. If you've ever seen it before, you can go on search YouTube or whatever. We'll put maybe a sewer ninjas come in and we can go on site or something, do something with them. But basically, it's a plastic that's you basically manufactured and heated up, and then they blow air into it, and that air pushes this plastic liner through the sewer lateral.
I think there's a balloon that follows it that basically forms it right to the pipe with that air, and then it
goes out, and then when it gets out into the main, they go out there and they cut it off, and then it's when it hardens, the guy brought a section. Solid. It's like rock hard, but it's a nice polyethylene. It's probably quarter-inch, eighth inch thick?
Yeah, something like that.
Quarter-inch thick? It's thick. It's solid, and that is cheaper than digging up the whole front yard and putting a new pipe in and stuff, but it still ain't cheap.
No.
It still ain't cheap. And if you don't do that sewer scope, there's no way to know if you're having a problem. So we've done it quite a bit, and, a lot more houses have problems with sewer laterals than I would have ever imagined.
Yeah. And PVC, I haven't seen any issues with PVC. A
couple bellies here and there. But
minor stuff, but nothing like we've been seeing with cast iron or clay pipes.
No, cast iron and clay pipes. If your house is, when people call me up, they're like, well, what do you recommend? Well, I'm like, well, if it's a house built prior to 1980, it probably has cast iron or clay pipes, and there's likely going to be a problem. If there's a tree or bush in between the house and the street, well, then there's higher likelihood there's going to be an issue, If your house was built in 2013 and there's no trees between the house and the street, probably not a problem, but it's a personal decision whether you want to have that done or not. And, it is just inspecting. It's not testing or anything like that. So you don't need any special permissions for it. We just need a little extra time during the inspection to get that done. And it's something that we can do for you. And a lot of home inspectors are offering it. A lot of them have been offering it a lot longer than we have. But it is still something that I would almost recommend in every house built prior to 1980.
Yeah.
Just
$200, and then you know.
Yeah, then you know. And if it's in great shape, cool. That's great.
Yep.
But there's no way to know unless you send that camera down there. And it's an expensive camera, and that's why it's $200. I mean, it's not me just sticking a light in a chute, and going from there. As far as the sewer scope goes, great idea, something to definitely think about. And if you don't know about it, you want to learn more, we'll have a number of videos, I would imagine, coming up in the near future that'll be sewer scope related. All right. So the next thing we're going to get into is our main topic, and that is what does a home inspector carry around in their tool bag? And as far as what's in our tool bag, we keep the things in our tool bag that we need to properly inspect a home, in our opinion. Okay. Each of my guys can put together their own tool bag however they want. I give them the tools that they need to do the job, but they can keep them in their truck if they want. It's entirely up to you. Michael, he chooses to carry around a D bag, which is a decked bag for the decked system that he has in the back of his truck, and he carries probably more than I do, I would assume.
Maybe.
Probably. We'll find out.
Might be close.
We'll find out. We're going to get into what's in our bags here. And the one thing that actually two things we need to kind of address before we start getting into the tools themselves is there's a difference between a tool bag and a tool pouch. Michael doesn't carry around his D bag throughout the house.
No.
Michael carries his tool pouch. Michael, what does your tool pouch look like?
Well, I actually have 3.
What?
So there's the
This is the tool
D
pouch.
bag, which is the big bag that carries everything in. And then there's a smaller bag inside, which I would say is a tool bag. And this is where I keep most of my stuff.
But you don't carry that around the house.
I carry this into the basement. When I go to the basement, I carry this to the basement.
Okay. What do you carry around?
I carry this around the
that
house.
That would be your tool pouch. Yes.
Yep.
Tool pouch.
So
yeah, and the tool pouch is the tools that we use constantly as we're going through the house.
yes.
And some of the tools we use more frequently than others, right? But this is the tool pouch, okay? And this clips onto our belt. And it was, when I first started, I had, like a tool bag that you wear when you're framing a house.
Yeah.
That was my tool pouch. I had an over-the-shoulder strap. I had a hat on with a...
Yeah, because if it got heavy from all the tools you were carrying.
Yeah, and a flashlight on my hat, and I had safety glasses on all the time.
He looked like Bob the Builder.
I did,
Yeah.
and that was how I showed up to my first 3 inspections. And the one realtor showed up to my 3rd inspection. She's like, "That's some outfit you got going on," and she started laughing at me. And I'm like, "I'm being Joe serious here. I'm Mr. Inspector Man." And
as Facebook was coming about.
Yeah, and then we quickly learned what I need and what I really don't need.
Yeah.
And so we kind of modified things or whatever. And today I look much more professional. But we got to have a picture of that pull up somewhere, Tammy. But it was a sight to see. What's that?
That'd be a good one.
Oh yeah.
Frame it,
put it up there.
somewhere.
Yeah, dude, I had a headlamp on. There was a light on my shoulder strap for my tool belt. It was hot stuff, I'm telling you. Nice. But yeah, so this is the equivalent to what I carry around in the house. I do keep my tool bag. My tool bag looks like this, and I keep this on the kitchen counter, just the central location. I take out what I need at certain times or whatever. Other things in here, I use like a 2-prong outlet tester. I only use that when we have a really old house with a lot of ungrounded outlets to make sure there's power in there. But otherwise, it doesn't come out of the tool bag, for every outlet. It wouldn't make sense. So that's tool bag versus tool pouch. And then what tools are we required by the state of Wisconsin to have in our bag, Mike? Don't fail me. I know we didn't rehearse this.
We did not.
This is not rehearsed. Are you going to answer this accurately or not?
I don't know. I really don't.
You don't know.
We're required.
What tools is a home inspector required to use at a home inspection in the state of Wisconsin?
I don't think there's any because it's a visual home inspection.
Correct them.
But you need.
I'm so proud of you.
But if you show up with nothing,
you got a problem.
Yeah. But a camera and a flashlight. But somebody's gonna have some questions.
But dude, if you had an average Joe come in here and said, "What tools is our home inspector required to have?" Most of them would say, I don't know, outlet tester, thermometer, all kind of moisture. No, we're not required to use any tools. It is not a technically exhaustive inspection per.
No Sawzall?
No Sawzall. No hole saw. No sledgehammer. I don't even have a hammer.
Pry bar?
I don't even have a hammer. No pry bars. You can't take it. You're not allowed to disassemble the home, Michael. But so no tools. This is
how am I supposed to inspect though?
Well, your eyes.
Okay.
It's a visual inspection. So yeah, it's strictly a visual inspection. It's not to be technically exhaustive. You're not required to use any tools. However, a good home inspector is going to use best practices, and best practices say that we use some minimal tools, right? Okay. I can't tell a furnace is heating to the right temperature without something like a temperature probe or a thermometer of sorts. Okay. A temperature probe is just to help me better understand what's happening at the furnace and to render it, hey, this is an overheating furnace or it is underperforming furnace,
or it's working as intended.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And it's just a tool that helps me to do my job a little bit better, and give me a little bit of credibility as well. Not just me saying furnace looks good. That's not going to cut it. You know, Joe Schmo's bringing Grandpa along with him. Grandpa's will be like, what the hell? This isn't a home inspection. You got to have something to back you up. Some of these tools are absolutely necessary. Others are not necessarily necessary. The ones that I keep, they come in handy.
Very handy.
Very handy. Yep. Some of the things in my tool pouch I don't use all the time, but I use more often than anything in here, generally speaking. Or the things that I use out of here are too big to carry around. Yeah. Like I have
you would need that tool pouch, the carpenter's tool pouch in order to
carry everything. Yeah. So in order to take apart the cover on a furnace, a drill works well. To take off the screws on an electrical panel, a power drill is a lot better than me getting carpal tunnel from trying to do hand screw on the electrical panel.
While trying to hold the screws, hold the panel cover.
This just works a lot better. This is not something I'd want to have in here and carry around with me all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, so that is kind of the two things I wanted to address before we get into the tools.
Sure.
All right. So I broke out a couple of tools. Let me put these away. Sorry.
Yeah.
Didn't mean to expose the audience.
No, you're good.
So the first thing we want to get into was what is the 3 most commonly used tools as a home inspector? You want to go first? Tammy suggests we alternate.
That's fine. Yeah, I'll go first.
All right. So what is the most common tool you would pull out of your thing before you pull out any other tools?
This right here. Flashlight.
This
is the number one thing. If without a flashlight, you can't inspect a house accurately.
And some home inspectors, they'll preach Streamlight. It's a very common flashlight. A lot of police officers use Streamlight. Nothing wrong with it. No. However, the Milwaukee flashlight
these things
here
are pretty slick.
It's a solid.
And then you get the backup batteries, so you can have backup batteries. They recharge. You swap out batteries on the fly.
Streamlights, I think generally you have to charge the whole flashlight. You can't just swap batteries out, can you, in Streamlight?
I don't think so.
Yeah, these ones, I can carry another one of these batteries in my pocket if I wanted to, But the battery, I would say I easily get through a day and a half with the flashlight set on its highest setting.
I am not so sparing with my flashlight.
No.
I get through maybe one inspection.
Okay, but this thing is bright. Like I go up into an attic, and you can adjust the beam. You can adjust the beam here a little bit. Okay, I go up into an attic, and I can set that on a truss someplace or whatever, and it lights up the attic like there's a spotlight in the middle of the room. It really does a good job. And if I want to see far distance, that beam goes down nice and small that I can see long distance and stuff. But yeah, great option here. And I don't really use the belt clip at all. Do you use the belt clip?
I'd never use a belt clip.
Yeah, I never take it off, but it's Can you see that in there?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Beams down. So this is my
go-to. Yeah, and this is the higher end Milwaukee one. I don't know what the lumens was on this. It was
1100.
Is it 1100?
1100 on these. The smaller ones are 8. And these actually, they used to be, I think, 125.
This is the old version of it.
Yeah, I had one of those.
These are okay. These did the job, but it's used the same battery basically. But this is much brighter.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
the functionality of this one I liked way better because I was usually holding it and hitting it here versus here.
Side. Yeah, this does have the power indicator in the light though, so when it's green, you got full power. Yeah, the only thing with it, only downside of this flashlight is it does get hot if you leave it on.
Yeah, especially in your pocket.
Yeah,
you
if
don't
you
realize
forget to turn it off. Yeah, so flashlight number 1. Number 2. I would say this guy. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So this is an outlet tester. They come in different shapes and sizes. Do you got a small one there, Mikey? got a small one here.
Screwdriver?
No, that's not a screw. We don't use a
What do you
screwdriver.
got? Oh,
Outlet tester.
sorry.
Yeah.
I'm still recovering.
He's still recovering. So this is an outlet tester. This is not a female pleasure device. Okay. Well, I'm saying.
What?
Sorry.
No.
That's completely inappropriate.
So
Sorry.
that has incorporated the sniffer
It's got.
and the outlet tester all in
See
one.
what he's doing to me? Yes, it has a sniffer and an outlet tester all in one. So yeah, the sniffer is the electrical sniffer that tells you if there's power in a location, so you can tell if a wire's hanging out of the ceiling in the basement. I can see if it's hot, you know.
Yep.
But this has the GFCI tester in it, and it's got the indicators on the side here to tell us if the outlet is wired properly or improperly, and what is improperly wired about it. You know, is it cross, are the polarities crossed? Is it ungrounded? Is the hot and neutral reversed? You know, whatever it may be. Yeah. And I like this one because it's big, because I'm testing outlets all day long.
Yeah.
I
I got this bigger one.
Yeah.
Because I was finding that there was desks or dressers or sofas in the way of that.
Yeah.
And that's where I got this one where it's a little bit fatter than that one.
Yep.
And those things almost always crap out.
These always die.
Those are $6 from Menards, and
they're $6 from Menards. And for your average person out there, this isn't a bad way to go. This is a great little tester. It's got the GFCI button on it or whatever. And if you're wanting to be safe when you're going to go work on an outlet, you can get one of these for $5.
Yeah.
$5 buckaroonies. Okay. Yep. And this does the same as this.
Yep.
Okay. This is just more expensive, lasts longer.
Yeah, that's like $30.
Yeah,
right?
It has more features.
I think this was 15, and we test a couple outlets.
Yeah. So I'll tell you right up front, we don't test every outlet in the home. Okay. So we don't move beds. We don't move furniture. We're actually not allowed to move furniture or anything. But the thing with outlets is that I can see and reach them, I test them. I mean, it doesn't take me but a second or two, to bend over and test it. And when I come across one that's wired improperly, I flag it with a piece of tape so everybody knows which one it is. Because if I say there's an outlet miswired, which one of the 85 outlets in the house, are we talking about? So, outlet tester, all the time, every single room, every single outlet I come across, GFCIs, everything, very commonly used in a home. I would say probably the second. Number 2, fair?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay, all right. You got number 3?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with the
tried and true. Yeah, camera.
I could do it with my phone and stuff, but. Yeah, it would take so much longer, and to do that, this I can just pop the SD card out and away we go. But camera, I mean, if your home inspector is not taking pictures of anything anymore, it's this stage and age. Well,
and some home inspectors, they only put a couple of pictures in. Yeah, and, I mean, I've seen home inspection reports within the last couple of months where they only put in 10, 15 pictures. Or they're either really tiny in the report, or they're at the back and they just refer to them. That's not a report I would want. Okay.
And they're on page 6 and you have to refer to all the way back at the pictures to, that's what they're talking about.
If you're a lot of home inspectors are going around with their equipment trying to take pictures and write the report at the same time. And that's fine. You guys can do that if you want. That's perfectly fine. That's just not how we do it. With your iPad, with your phone, sometimes how do you get that into the furnace and get it into behind the wires and take your picture, get a good picture of that data plate or anything like that to provide it to the client? I can take my camera, I can stick it into the furnace, I can shine a flashlight from the backside if I need to get more light in there, and I can take up close pictures of the model and serial number. I can take a picture of the whole thing. Yep. I can get inside, tight little spots to get pictures of the burners and the heat exchanger and stuff. With us, we put anywhere from 150 to 200 high quality digital pictures in the report. And so I tell everybody, hey, my report's going to be longer than most home inspectors' reports because I'm a good home inspector, A, and B, I take a lot of digital pictures because it helps everybody understand what I'm talking about, why I'm calling it out, what the condition is, and where it's located. Yep. Wouldn't you rather have, 5 or 6 pictures of the furnace where you can see what the burners look like, you can see what the data plate looks like, you can get up close and read, you can actually read the data plate on the picture because I'm so close to it. And then we have an overall of the furnace. You can see where things are located, how the furnace filters are aligned and all that kind of stuff. It makes it better, know? I mean, yes, my report's going to be longer, and some people don't like long reports. They think long report means I have a bad house. No, the length of the report has absolutely nothing to do with the quality of the home. The length of the report has absolutely everything to do with the quality of your inspector and how many pictures they take.
You could have a 700 square foot house that's 100 pages long, and you could have a 4,500 square foot house that's 120 pages long. And well, they got 2 furnaces, 4 electrical panels, and
5 times the number of windows. I mean, it just adds up.
Yeah.
And when we have a problem in a home, unless there's a lot of it, okay, if I go into a house and 50% of the outlets are miswired, I'm putting 3 pictures of miswired outlets in the home in there, and then I'm just saying they're numerous throughout the home. If there's 25 broken thermal panes, I'm not taking a picture of every broken thermal pane. I'm just going to take a picture of a couple of the worst ones just to basically give everybody an idea of what we're looking at and what we're talking about. But there's limits to it. We don't put pictures of absolutely everything in there. Yeah. Yes, that Tammy's pointing out. There's no such thing as a perfect. There's no unicorn out there. I had a lady today, bless her heart. She's like, I'd like to know if we got an A, B, C, or D. She was a seller, and she was like, I want to know if I got an A, B, C, or D when you're done, if that's okay. I'm like, this isn't like a graded thing. There's nothing. It's not like that. No, there's no pass fail. I'm actually not allowed to, per the state of Wisconsin rules, to grade one house to the other house or compare them or anything like that. And I'm also not allowed to give you any information because my client's the one that's paying for the inspection. Without their permission, I can't give you any information. So,
as we all know, as an inspector team, there is no such thing as a perfect house.
There isn't. No. There isn't. She thought she had one, though. She's like, we fix everything. I'd be surprised if you find anything. I'm like, well, there's no such thing as a perfect house. And
my house isn't perfect. I still got stuff to work on. It's a regular.
My house is perfect. No, I'm just kidding. It's not. It's the Tammy and I went over that. Tammy and hey, Peanut Gallery. Tammy and I went over that last time. There are at least there's 3 things that I'm aware of at my home that need to be repaired. If Michael went through, he probably would find more. But
3.
The faucet, faucet downstairs, the handle on the tub upstairs.
Okay, let's clarify. Those are 3 things we have purchased that just haven't been installed yet.
Okay.
No, I haven't purchased the handle. So we have one of those Whirlpool tubs upstairs, and it's got one of those funky faucets where it's got a little gear on the inside, and the gear is stripped out. So I have to go get a new little gear ring. I have to go down and visit the plumbing guys down in Milwaukee.
Plumbing Parts Plus?
Plumbing Parts Plus, yeah.
65th and Lincoln or something?
Right by the deli. There's a deli right next door.
Oh.
Tom used to talk about it all the time. But anyways, yes, I know there's at least 3 things that I need to fix at my house here. So, but there might be more if I sent a highly qualified home inspector like yourself through. Probably.
It might be.
That's 4. Why we don't inspect each other's houses. That's an agreement we take when we all start working together. Is when we go visit each other, we don't inspect each other's houses. I have a hard time not inspecting other people's houses, but I can't turn it off when I go to my guys' houses.
Yeah, that's for the best.
I think so. Yeah, for sure. So that is the 3 most commonly tools: flashlight, outlet tester, and camera. And that's assuming our eyes aren't tools.
Yep.
Okay, so that's the 3 most commonly tools. And the 3 tools in our pouch or bag that we rarely use.
Oh.
What are the 3 most rarely used? I'll go first on this one, being that you went in that last one.
Yeah.
Probably, I would say this guy.
Oh, an awl.
Yeah, this is a scratch awl. And generally, we don't like to poke, prod, or cause damage or anything like that. However, if something looks like it's got rot, I need to know how deep the rot goes. I will find the rotted area where the wood is already damaged, and I will plunge, and I will see how deep the rot goes. And if the rot goes more than 1.5 inches, it's probably into other building materials behind that rotted section. I generally don't use it very often. I usually only in older homes will I use the
joists and beams.
Yeah, sometimes when you get those post beetles and things like that down in there, and there's potential for rot, I'll pull it out. And I even have a couple of those videos where it's like halfway in there, like. There's a
I've
beam
done it with my finger.
There's a beam in your house, and I go 4 inches deep without even pushing. That's a problem. So scratch awl would be number 1, and I think you have one in your bag. You just don't use it very often, right? Do you even carry one?
I don't think so.
I gave you.
I
one.
use something else. Did you?
One. Do you use a
Maybe
screwdriver?
it's in the bottom of the. No. I use something else. I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna
talk about it later.
It's a multi-purpose tool.
Ooh, all right.
I'm gonna have to say the headlamp.
The headlamp.
I don't think that does it even work. Oh, it does work.
It does work. Yeah.
This hasn't been out of my bag since I probably put it in this new bag.
Yeah, I don't.
This is where I live, right there.
Yeah.
Gee, the only place I could think that you guys use it is when you go in a crawl space and you have to like crawl.
I got a separate light that I take.
He has a little box light that he carries.
Yeah, it runs on an M18. I won't mention any manufacturers, but it runs on an M18.
Are we talking Milwaukee Tool?
We want to be sponsored by Milwaukee Tool. Milwaukee Tool, if you're listening, sponsor the show. Come on, baby, come on. Nothing wrong with that. But you know, I only time I find myself using a headlamp is when I actually have to crawl through an attic.
Oh.
Because I need to have my hands on things. I'm not taking the express elevator.
Yeah, I could see that.
By express elevator, I mean falling through the ceiling of the home.
Yeah.
Which would be a bad thing.
That would be bad.
Yeah. And I generally don't like to move around through the attic very much at all. But just because if I can see everywhere, I'm not going to. Because if I go up and I crawl around on joists and things, the joists necessarily aren't made to hold a larger human. And last thing I want to do is cause damage. However, if there's something on the far side that I think that I need to see, like there's potential for, water leak or something like that, something going on with the roof that means I need to see up in there.
Then you send me up there.
If we were on site together, I'm saying, little guy, you're going in, baby. But yeah, definitely headlamp.
You're up.
Blue suit. Here we go, baby. No, the headlamp definitely I could see as a rarely used element. The next rarely
is that why I'm going to keep saying no? I will not be on site with Matt, so I'm the backup. Okay.
Pretty much.
No. The other thing, and I got these for all my guys, and I can't remember the last time I used it, but I keep it in my bag all the time. An inspection mirror. I mean, this is a telescoping little mirror. If I wanted to see behind something or whatever, I could see.
That's in the bottom of my bag.
I could see behind. Yeah, I mean, it's got its place. And when I was doing my training, and when you did your training, they said this is an essential tool, right?
So I think what I've done before is I've had like a furnace flue pipe coming up, and I want to take a look behind to make sure it's not rotted out because I can see the faces rusted. Then you can take it from behind and actually.
I just stick my camera behind and take a picture.
I normally do too. That's the only time I think I've ever used that.
Yeah. So, inspection mirror, not something I use regularly, but I carry it. You never know. I don't know. Yeah. I guess I do know because I haven't used it in 12 years, so I guess I could probably take it out of the bag, not carry it around. So, yeah.
Leave it in your truck.
Leave it in the truck. All right. So that is the three most commonly used tools, three most least used tools. Let's get into the rest. Let's start at the pouch. So the pouch, temperature gauge, basically temperature probe for the furnace.
Do you have a new favorite tool? Because I have a new favorite tool.
I do. Mike gave me a... Yeah. So this is a cool thing on... you saw on Amazon, but it's got these little things that hold your bits, and it locks in there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you just pull it up a little bit, and you can have your bits out, and you can pop them back in no time, and you don't have to go. And see, I used to carry all three of these in my pocket all the time, and I have other things in my pocket all the time, so I ended up with full pockets all the time.
I used to carry them in here.
Then they get loose and fall out.
And then they get loose and fall out in my bag, so then I just clip them in.
Yeah. Great little tool. I think it will do a review on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you see my setup out there in the garage?
No.
I've got it set up. I'm going to do cameras and lighting. I'm going to do reviews of tools and products to use around your home.
Oh, nice.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Huh?
These come in slick because, I mean, if you're working on a deck, if you're putting in a window, a door, I mean, you can throw all your bits on there that you need instead of fumbling through your pocket or.
It came with 5, didn't it? I only used 3, so I left the other 2 off. Is it 6?
6.
Yeah, so you can have 6 essential bits all in this one little carabiner. Works great. Yeah.
There's many times where I got 3 different torques that I'm running.
Oh, yeah. It's just different sizes. Yeah. Mainly, I just carry a flathead screwdriver because some idiot decided that electrical panels need to have flathead screws. I really want to punch that guy in the...
Well, those are older panels, or they lost the screws and they put new ones in.
I cut a Cutler hammer panel from 5 years ago.
Oh.
Flathead screws.
Yeah. The newer panels, they got the flathead and then they got square. So then I carry a square.
Or Phillips option. Yeah. But, I'm just not happy with those guys. Yeah. Whoever invented flat screws needs to get choked out. That sounds rather violent. I didn't really mean that. Damn, he's staring at me.
I strongly dislike
Oh my gosh,
flathead
dude.
screws.
How many times does my screwdriver have to pop out a flathead screw? It's just so annoying.
When I moved into my house, I had jars of flathead screws.
Oh my gosh.
You know where they went?
Garbage.
They got filed.
Yeah, dude. Circular file he's talking about.
Yeah.
I keep an 1/8 inch drill bit to drill a hole in the sheet metal for our temperature probe.
Yep.
After we do that, we put a piece of tape over it. It's all you need to do. And then I also keep a Phillips bit because, well, lots of times furnace panel covers and sometimes electrical panel covers have Phillips screws on them too. So those are the 3 bits that I carry. Mike's got a square on his and
Square, Phillips, flathead. I actually got 2 different size squares.
Yeah.
And then drill bit.
the whole world needs to just switch to Torx. 5-point Torx, 6-point Torx, and be done with it. Yeah. The next thing that we have is a metal or a magnetic pickup tool. So. Okay, sorry. The magnetic pickup tool, I use it quite frequently for testing bathroom fans. So we use the toilet paper method. We basically take a single sheet of toilet paper, we put it on the end of the rubber pit, put it up to the fan. If the fan can suck it up, we're getting good suction and air movement. If we can't suck it up, then the fan's malfunctioning in some way, shape, or form. And then I also use it for whenever I drop all the panel cover screws behind the dryer that's sitting next to the electrical panel, which happens more often you'd believe.
Or into the sump crock that's right next to where...
I'm pulling out a new screw if that happens.
Oh, I take...
Just kidding.
That's why I got one of these.
I'd go in there. Yeah, I'd go in there. I also use it to sometimes lift up the arm on the sump pumps and stuff like that, if I don't want to get in there, or I don't use a plunger.
Yep.
The wrong, dirty end of a used plunger from someone's house. I don't know who would do that.
Brand new.
No, it was not brand new. That was some fairly used. It had stains on it. It was disgusting.
Like I said, I was ready to do sewer scope a long time ago.
No, okay, all right. So Mike and I are training.
Do we have time for this
I
right
think
now?
we have time for the. Do we have time for this story, Tammy?
It's like
I think we have time. We have time
or
for
7:43 right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we do or no, we don't.
Finish your segment and then you can do it.
Oh,
all right.
I won't.
see if
I don't
he
want to
remembers.
embarrass Mike. I don't want to embarrass Mike. Well, I got to, dude.
What else you got in
Okay,
there?
so we're down in the basement, and I'm like, all right, Mike, we gotta test this sump crock or whatever. It's down there quite a ways. You got to find something that we can reach down there and lift the lever up with. And he comes back with holding on to the business end of this homeowner's plunger.
Because there was only an opening this big.
It was very small, yes.
Yep.
But dude, the business end. This was a used plunger.
It
This
was
was not. This was not a brand new plunger.
You're
No,
making the
I am not
story.
making this up. This is not. I'm not made up at all.
Over-embellishing.
I almost lost it right there, and I was sick to my stomach. It was disgusting. I cannot
opened his
believe.
Coke for
And
him
then
right
he wanted
after
to. He wanted to touch me or whatever. I'm like, dude, get away from me. And so then for the next Christmas, he gave Bob and I plungers with a hook on the wooden end of a brand new plunger for an inside joke. But it was funny. So sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll keep moving. So what's the next thing you have, Mike?
A microwave tester.
Yeah,
Throw it in a microwave and
People
it
think
lights
that
up.
thing's pretty cool.
Yeah. They're always like, what in the world
does
did you
that
put in my
work?
microwave?
Yeah, so we can take the thing, we can put it around the seal of the microwave to see if there's any leaks in the seal. Then we can stick it in the microwave to make sure the magnetron is firing up and doing like it's supposed to. So yeah, that works out really well.
Yep.
The next thing I keep on mind is a little mini tape measure. So little mini tape measure, usually for measuring, step heights and things like that. Really, you want to make sure.
fly.
Yeah, you want to make sure that you're not misquoting things. And if I say a step height is too small, and it turns out that it's 6 inches, that's not too small.
Yeah.
But if I say they're uneven and they're not uneven, then it just causes problems for people, and people get kind of grumpy with you. So I measure it. I usually will take pictures of the tape measure in the with the step, so you can clearly see. But yeah, I carry that with me all the time.
Yeah.
What else you got?
This is probably one of my other favorite tools.
That's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one. Where did we get those? We got those.
We got those at an
conference or
inspector
something.
conference.
Yeah. It goes with the weasel.
I believe it's a 1/4-20 on the end. It threads on a lot of different items.
But it's really long.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so those extra tall ceilings, we
They
can
can't
get
even
we can get to all those things. Like you want to reach out and touch someone.
Touch my ear.
Yeah, but these are great.
And they're rigid. Like the cheap one, like these ones, I don't even use these because when you extend it out, you only got like a 3/16 little rod on the end, and they usually pull apart.
And the little plates pull out from inside and stuff. This is really high quality, and I've used it so much that the metal, the finish is worn off on it and stuff. Just that's how much we use it.
This one's still got water in it from the day.
So yeah, definitely an extendable tool like that for testing smoke detectors and things like that you can't reach, especially on like vaulted ceilings and things. Yeah, and they screw in together at the end, but I wouldn't recommend that. I broke one that way. So
yeah, I've used it. Smoke alarms. I've used it to push on spots on the ceiling.
Yeah.
You know,
To
see if they're soft or anything like that.
Yeah.
What's the other one I was thinking of? I've used it to test sump pumps. That's why this one's got water coming out of it.
Yeah.
Camera. There's a selfie stick.
Yeah.
Thread it on his camera.
Yep.
Throw it up in the attic if you need it.
Yeah, or in a place you can't get to.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, very usable though.
Yeah,
definitely.
A lot of different uses.
One thing that I use, not a ton, but almost every other house, is this finger screwdriver. So it's basically this is the Milwaukee finger screwdriver, and this one's a ratcheted one. You don't have to get a ratcheted one, but it's got little bits in it and stuff if you need them. But when I come across the loose doorknob or something like that, I'd rather tighten the doorknob than take a picture of it and report on it. So I usually just tighten up that doorknob a little bit, and it just makes it a lot easier. And the homeowners are usually pretty happy about that too. So
yeah. I do the same thing. I carry a 11-in-1.
Oh, you carry a full size. I have one of those
full
in
size.
Here.
Yeah.
But
I just carry it along because you can.
It's a little bigger.
If I got a Goodman furnace, I can take off the panel covers without having to run upstairs and grab it and stuff. And
get a nut, yeah.
Sometimes panel covers have a hex head, screws in it, so it comes in handy.
Yeah.
And these are I think this was from. I've had this for probably 5 years, and it was from Menards for like $6.
Cheap, super cheap.
And Milwaukee ones are like $12.
Yeah,
so
not very expensive at all.
No.
So what's your next thing?
Pair of pliers. I
don't carry a pair of pliers.
No,
I have a channel lock.
I've pulled out I've pulled out many broken off ground plugs out of outlets.
I use this for that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so this is a Leatherman like multi-tool thing.
Leatherman.
And so it's got this one's made by Gerber, but it's got a little knife in it so that when the panel covers got painted, I can cut around that edge just so I don't rip the paint off the wall when I'm taking the panel cover off and stuff. But it's got nice tight little almost like a needle nose pliers that I can get into that outlet and pull out a broken bit or something like that. Because if I leave it in there, I have to report on it, and me pulling it out and the outlet, and I can get my tester in there then and it tests out fine. Hey, cool. But Leatherman or pliers, great idea.
Yep. And I actually carry a Sharp,
You do? Oh, yeah, you've been doing that more recently.
Yeah, I've used it so some furnaces have a airflow logo stamped into it. So I take the Sharpie and scribble all over it and then wipe my finger across and it fills in the airflow so people can read it easier. Also labeled it so they know which way to put it back in.
You're an overachiever, man. You're an overachiever.
Or if I drop my pen somewhere, dies, then I got this on hand. So
I carry a little roll of tape, and we started doing this, 2 years ago?
Something like that. COVID. As soon as COVID hit. We used to do business cards, and then we didn't want to spread germs. And
we went through a lot of business cards. So when we come across an outlet, we rip off a little piece of tape and we plop it on the outlet so that when we're going and we're writing a report, we can say there's an outlet that's miswired in the master bedroom. They'll be like, which one of the 15 outlets are you talking about? I'll be like, the one with the red piece of tape on it. And it doesn't have to be a big piece of tape. Sometimes if I'm labeling a lot of them, I'll rip it into pieces and chunks, and put it on there. But it just is a communication tool. And people, when they come home, sometimes the seller will be calling me up like, hey, what's this red tape all over all my outlets? All those outlets are miswired. That's why there's red tape there, so I can help you communicate and better understand how many outlets and which outlets you need to be corrected.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Great
but
idea.
that's what I keep in my pouch.
That's everything I had.
Is everything had in your pouch? So we do also keep a moisture meter on us. This is the newer kind. I did used to use, and I think Mike used to use it too, these pin style ones.
Yep.
The pin style one, this is a Ryobi. It worked great. I mean, it did its job, but pin style, you have to make little marks in the drywall or whatever, And
And some people are not so happy about that.
Yeah,
even if you don't use it and they think you used it.
Yeah, it's just an accurate way to tell if there's a moisture problem or not. But this is a ball style, and basically you can touch it to it. There's lots of different kinds of moisture meters out there. This is a FLIR model MR59. It's a good moisture meter, not super expensive. Are there more expensive ones out there that you can buy? Yeah. Are they better? I don't know. Everybody's got different opinions about them. I just want to know when something's got more moisture in it than it's supposed to.
Yep.
I don't care exactly what moisture level it has. I'm just looking to back myself up and saying this is wet, and it's not supposed to be wet. So a moisture meter. FLIR also has a little attachment point on the back, so I can put it on my stick here, and I can Send it up to the ceiling.
Yeah,
you know?
there's some improvement there. I think it should be on the bottom.
I think it should be on the bottom too. I agree.
How are you supposed to read it when it's facing the ceiling?
Well, it marks the highest moisture point.
Yeah,
but still, you should be able to see it. You know, you would think.
Yeah,
it would make more sense. Yeah, for sure. What else you got?
So I get a laser level.
Yes.
Laser level for measuring walls.
Yep.
In the basement.
Yep. So we generally are not foundation evaluators, but when we see a wall that has evidence of an issue, we can break out our laser plumb and we can measure the wall for plumb.
And I use tape measure.
Yeah. You just put the laser plumb up or whatever, and you measure how far away the wall is from the laser. And as you go up, if you have more difference in any of the measurements by 1/2 inch or greater, we're out. We just refer to a further evaluation by foundation specialist, because then that wall is bowing outside of what is okay and needs to be looked at by somebody. So yeah, there's a lot of tools that we have.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
Let's run through them quick.
All right, so
digital temp gun.
Yep, I have Milwaukee one. Milwaukee, if you want to sponsor us, come on in, baby.
There you go.
I have
water pressure gauge. Yeah.
I keep a digital tape measure. So this is basically you push it and you can measure from the back of here to anything you want to measure. I find most often using it for clients that want to know the size of rooms and how big their kitchen table can be.
Yep.
Yeah.
Lighter. Testing burners on stoves if they don't light, just to make sure they actually light.
Yep.
And then also fireplaces.
Gas leak detector. If I smell gas or think I smell gas, I can help find where it is and flag it and label it.
So one thing I have in my pouch, but no.
You can. I don't use it. I suggest they just test their own.
Yeah. So this is something that threw in a bag. These are dye tablets to see if your toilet's leaking. You can throw them in the tank. You can also throw them in the actual bowl itself to check to see if there's a leak. Now, if there's a leak from when you flush it, you're obviously going to see that downstairs and stuff. But I don't know, maybe.
I usually use them. I put them in the tank.
I put them in the tank.
Yeah, see if there's a leak in the seal.
Yep.
Yeah. I also have my 2-prong outlet tester for those really old outlets. This is a Klein Tools carbon monoxide detector. If I'm going downstairs in an old house with an old furnace, I usually will put this on and clip it to my belt just so I don't walk into an unsafe situation. And if it starts going off as I get closer to the furnace, I know I have a problem and I got to look into it a little bit, or I need to get out of the space depending on how high the level is.
Yep. I keep a little mystery box here. I've had rubber washers for the pressure gauge and stuff, or if there's a faucet that's not sealing or something, I throw it on there so I can get a good pressure on it. If they get a little adapter, extra batteries, panel cover screws,
little miscellaneous
5 amp or 3 amp fuses just in case if.
Sometimes a thermostat can throw a fuse on a furnace, and the last thing you want to leave is somebody without heat. So if you know the fuses, we'll swap it out. I keep a little cordless drill just for doing all the drilling and stuff. I also keep one of these guys, a little mini guy, which is a little suction cup. Casement windows. Always you come across one of them that won't close all the way, especially
when the hardware drops off when it's halfway out.
Yeah. So you can put this on the casement window. Usually lick it and run it around, and then you stick it on there and you go, and you can pull that window shut. It just works out really good for that. Did you already mention the
Yeah.
Okay, we got that already.
You just got a different one.
I just have a different style. Yeah, different style. I always keep some rags in there, extra business cards, that kind of stuff. I keep a little doodad, just a little crescent wrench.
I have tape. I don't know that I've ever used it.
I don't know what you would use it for.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't fix the house.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know. It's always been in my bag.
Yeah. So that's the tools
the
home inspector uses in his bag.
That's just in the bag, not including what's in our truck with drone or radon equipment or
things that we carry. Otherwise, we carry little drones. We have sewer scope. We have thermal imaging cameras and stuff like that.
I mean, you can.
Yeah, our trucks have a lot of stuff in them. Also, in my pocket, I keep SD cards and stuff in case something goes wrong with my camera. We always use a Square credit card dongle for charging. If you're not taking credit card these days, you ain't getting paid. So that's just that. This
is something that I've been carrying probably last 3-4 years now, something like that.
Was it 2 years ago? I thought you and Jeff bottomed, wasn't it? I think it was 2 years ago, maybe 3.
2020. 2020. So
Two
yeah.
and a half, 3 years ago.
So it's a 360 camera. It's a Ricoh SC2. It's Ricoh Theta SC2. And you turn it on, you hold it up, and it literally takes a 360-degree photo of the room that you're in.
To document.
This is just for our documentation purposes for basically what the home was on the day of the inspection.
Yeah. So there's no confusion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But you can do, for realtors and stuff, you can actually do full walkthroughs with this by downloading program. I think there's a fee for it and stuff.
Cool
but
little camera, though.
Sweet. I mean, just hanging out with the family at the lake or something like that.
Yeah, you can move around in there. Yeah, pretty cool.
It's definitely used for work. A lot more for work, to be honest.
Yeah. So that is tools that we carry, things we wish we had in our tool bag. I could go for a Wallabout. You seen those?
Mm-mm.
Put it on your phone. It tells you what kind of pipe is behind the wall.
Yeah,
and all that.
yeah,
That's kind of cool.
It's
like an extra vision type of thing, but it's not extra vision.
Yeah.
It'd be cool if we had extra vision. Not going to be really possible.
It would be one of those tools that you don't be like one of these.
Yeah, you wouldn't use it very often.
Wouldn't use it very often.
Theoretically, like to have a larger thermal imaging camera.
Yeah.
The one that I have is just a little plug in your phone type of thing or whatever. It just can tell me a little bit of information, but a full blown thermal imaging camera with recordability and all that kind of, with the video camera version, they're like $8,000, $9,000. That'd be cool. But I don't know that I need to spend that kind of money. I'm not going to, my bang for my buck isn't going to come out of that. You know? So
I haven't had many people call me asking for specifically that.
No.
Or to add that on to their inspection or anything.
Exactly. So that is what an inspector carries in his tool bag. All useful things, and we use them for a lot of different reasons. But we don't have to carry any of it. Technically, according to the state of Wisconsin, we can just use these things that we have already attached to our head to do the inspection. But a good home inspector that is following best practices, this would be what I would expect to see in their bag.
I also carry a vacuum.
I carry a vacuum as well in the truck for when those attic scuttle holes leave little giblets in the hallway.
Yeah, I like to leave the house where it doesn't look like I was there, besides a piece of paper we leave on the counter for the seller. You know, not that they have to go into their closet and clean up.
Leave it how you found it.
Insulation everywhere.
Yeah, leave it how you found it. All right, so we're going to move on. We got our question giveaway of the day today. Our question giveaway of the day today will go to the person who can correctly answer this question, and they have to answer it as it is written. All right, and also you can't have won a prize within the last month. Other than that, I think the rules are pretty clear.
There you go.
So the question of the week is, and by the way, the winner of this week gets a Dairy Queen $15 gift card.
Can I guess?
No, because you helped me come up with the answer. So the question of the week is, what is the most common defect we come across? What is the most common defect we come across? Put the answer in the comments. Drop it in the replay comments, wherever you find it. The first person that puts up the correct answer as it is written on my card will win the prize. All right. Next thing we have is the mystery box battle. I know Mike is excited for this one.
You gotta clear your.
I got a lot of home inspector type tools here. All right. Mystery boxes. Break them out.
Oh, they're
throwing stuff around.
Tool down.
Tool down.
Whoa. Heavy or light?
Which one do you want?
I don't know. How about you pick this time? I've picked the last 2 times. This one's light. This one's heavy.
I'll go with this one.
Okay, because that was heavy.
Dang it! Damn you, Michael! Yeah, peanut gallery.
Oh, all right.
So Michael and I are both Milwaukee Tool nuts. Hence, if Milwaukee Tool would like to sponsor this channel, my phone number is. Just kidding. Just look me up. Just email me at thehelpfulhomeinspector@gmail.com. But as we are kind of Milwaukee nuts, we have multiple platforms that we live off of. The M18 platform and the M12 platform. The M12 platform being the less powerful version. And the M18 comes in, I think they go up to
8.0 is now.
8.0 is now. It's a lot bigger battery than.
I think that's the top. There might be one bigger.
Yeah, and the 8.0 you're talking about for your chainsaws and tree trimmers and all that kind of stuff. This is the size that you would get for your normal drill, but you can get them. They come in all different sizes. About $200 a battery. About $80 a battery.
I only buy them when they're on sale, so you can get the 3.0s, two 3.0s for $100.
That's
at Northern Tool.
That's a pretty good deal.
So,
all right. So with that being said, why don't you go first? So why would M2? Mike's job is to and just if you've never seen the mystery box battle before, we have two competing products that live in the same space that we need to convince you, Jim and Joe Public, or Bobby and Joe Public, or Jim and Mary Public, whatever, that ours is better than the other person's, and why. And you guys can paste your comments, help us with our arguments, if you will, as to which one you think is better. But Mike, why don't you go first? Take a minute.
This doesn't help me because I have both.
I have both
and
as
I have
well.
both for different purposes.
Dude, these are both mine.
I know.
Ignore this. Promote that. Imagine you're working for Milwaukee Tool.
Well, this is a M12 4.0 XC battery. Fits in all the different tools. I believe it charges in less time than yours. I don't know if that for a fact. It's a 4.0. Man, I'm really struggling with this one.
Shouldn't be that hard.
It is, because I use those for specific purposes, and I use these for specific
For what specific purposes?
Share the different purposes.
I use this for my drills. I have sawzalls with this. I got a Force Logic compression tool. It's the copper.
It's press fitting.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, I mean, I got a lot of different M12. I got flashlights.
There's a lot of tools that work.
A lot of tools.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get bandsaws. You can get everything.
Bandsaws?
The
the little. You're talking about the little bandsaw for cut pipe.
Correct.
Stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't know why I'm blanking on all these right now.
I don't know. But I'm gonna destroy.
I know, and I like both. So that's my hard part here.
I like both too. But you have a mission right now.
I don't have anything other than that.
No. All right. The M18 much more powerful. Can be used for almost all the same tools. They do have some tools that are only M12, which not that big of a deal. But however, with the M18, you get all your stand-up lights and all that kind of stuff. You get bigger tools, more powerful tools. You can run all your worm drive saws. You can run chainsaws. You can run string trimmers. You can run tree saws. You can do all kinds of stuff with M18 that you can't do with M12. Oh yeah. M12 does have a little tiny mini chainsaw.
It does.
Yeah,
I did see that
are going to chop a bunch of hands off because of that top thing on there. Yeah, but that's nothing.
Depends on user error.
Yeah. But M18, they come in up to 8.0 batteries, which is basically going to last a good long time. You can chop down oak trees with this thing, and you get all your hammer drills, you get all the accessories and things that come with all that, and man, just so much you can do with the M18 platform. And the M18, this is the same battery. If you have a M18 tool from 10 years ago, it's still going to work on your 10-year-old tool and work great. And if your battery died from your 10-year-old tool, you can go buy a new battery and it's going to still work in that old tool. So M18, a great platform, and does a great job of doing all the things you probably would need to do around the home, I would imagine.
Yeah.
So both great platforms. You can't go wrong with either one.
And
did you think of something?
I did think of something.
All right, go ahead.
You can actually use these. Not that you'd want to carry this one around, but they make the 1.5s and 2.0s for the heated jackets and vests.
Yeah, that's very nice.
So that's pretty slick. And then also, I mentioned before the weight.
The tools are this drill in comparison to a M18 drill is a lot lighter. I mean, this is tiny, but it's still powerful.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
super powerful.
The M12 Impact.
Yeah, I mean, and this is the smaller version of that guy, but still very powerful. And this is a nice, tiny little compact drill that I keep one stuffed under my back seat. That's actually got the hammer drill function in it, so I could actually take off the lug nuts on my truck with it at M12 if I wanted to. So, both very useful. Milwaukee makes a great battery, great tools, and I have never had a battery fail on me.
I got one. I think I got one that's takes longer to charge and then it trickles down faster. One. out of my
I have
many.
many batteries.
Yeah.
But both great platform and it would not go wrong either way. If you're just your average homeowner, I probably would go M12. Just because the usability it's easier to get in places and it's smaller, easier to handle, that kind of stuff. Not going to break anybody's wrists with M12 stuff. M18, that'll get through just about everything. Yeah, but you got to be, I would say, probably in the trades or something, or a serious DIYer.
Yeah, I mean, if you're just buying a drill and an impact,
Yeah.
But like you said, I mean, you can buy everything. The only thing I haven't seen from Milwaukee is a jump starter for a car. It's the only thing. So if Milwaukee's working on that, I'd like to know about that.
Yeah, I don't.
Because I tried Googling it, and
there's a guy on YouTube that takes this apart and can jump a car with it, but I wouldn't recommend doing that.
I saw him do it with 2 forks.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend doing it
because the battery started smoking.
It's a lithium ion; it could explode.
Yeah.
So I'd avoid doing that. But who knows? Maybe. I mean, they have a tire filler upper now.
Yeah,
that's a technical term. Tire filler upper. Yeah. But lots of options out there.
Compressor.
It's a I don't know if I'd call it an air. It doesn't actually. I don't know that actually compresses the air.
No.
I think
it's called the inflator.
The inflator, something like that. Yeah, it moves air into the tire, but I don't think it compresses the air at all. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. I think I could be wrong. Put it in the comments. Blow me up. I don't care. So that is the mystery box battle. I think Tammy's saying we're gonna save those other two. Oh man, I really wanted to talk toilet paper today. We'll have to save it for next time. Toilet paper talk. Next time Mike's on. Get ready. Our tip of the week. I'm not going to miss you on this one, though. Our tip of the week is wall texture is very important. I went into a brand new home, and they wanted no texture.
Very expensive.
And it looked like crap.
Yeah.
You notice, you can see every little movement in the wall. You can see every little nail hole, every little scuff, crack, anything. It looks terrible. And these people, they were crabby about it. Like they put a piece of tape on every little thing that you could see, and I'm like, that's never gonna. You guys are gonna be putting on tape forever and ever and ever and ever and ever.
Yeah.
Do you
want me to shine my light across the wall?
Yeah,
you'll find
without texture, you're gonna see every little imperfection in that wall. With texture, if you have knockdown texture like this is, okay, I had a big old mirror here, and they had glue splotches on it, and when I pulled that off, pieces of drywall came popping. I could patch it, and I could retexture it, and you would never know where those spots were, okay? But if you didn't have any texture, you'd be able to call them out in no time, So make sure when you're doing your walls, get some kind of texture in your walls. I'm not a big fan of sand texture anymore. Just it's too obvious when there's problems, and you can never get it perfect, with knockdown.
You brush up against it, it's sandpaper.
It's literally sandpaper, yeah. But with like a knockdown or an orange peel, it's very easy to replicate. You can get a little can of it at the store and do it on your own. It's pretty easy to do. Just if you're going to do it on your own, I would recommend practicing on a piece of cardboard before you go and start spraying it all over the place.
Yep.
So yeah, but that is a lot of good stuff. Peter's voting M12.
I use M12 for obviously for work, and then I also keep in my plumbing stuff. I keep the M12 hacksaw and the Pro Press. That's what I was thinking of. Pro Press, Force Logic Pro Press.
My vacuum that I keep in my truck.
The vacuum.
M12. Yeah.
My jacket. A couple other tools and stuff.
I recently got a M12 sweatshirt to wear to the Packer games, and that is toasty.
Yeah.
Toasty. And Tammy, I think, got a M12 jacket she likes as well, don't you, babe?
Yes. Michael was the one who started the phase of the heated
You showed it off?
Sorry.
No, it was a good thing. Yeah. During the winter and those cold days, I'm all for it.
I mean, as a home inspector, it's -50. Guess what? We're still outside. We're
Heated
still
pockets,
doing our thing. Yeah.
Keep my camera in there warm and my hands in there warm.
I got those battery-operated gloves.
Oh, yeah. Those things
are nice. Yeah, we'll show those off. And I got so many of these ideas of what I need to do for these tool and product reviews and stuff. Yeah. Man, you better tune in. When I start doing those tool and product reviews, we're going to try to do 2 or 3 of them a week. And man, it's going to be awesome. But so that's our show for the week. And next week, we're going to try to get the Smith team on here. I didn't run that by him yet. I probably should. Hey, Mark, you're coming on the show next week, buddy. Or Tanner or Sheila or whoever. Yeah. But we'll get them out here. We got to finish out talking about the home sale process. So they had a couple big closings this week.
Yeah.
Yeah. They closed on that house over in the Legends there.
Oh, nice.
1.2 mil. Cow. It's a big house. But awesome house nonetheless. Next week I'll come in and make sure you catch us out here 7 to 8 p.m. next Tuesday. We'll be here live helping you better maintain and take care of your home. Lots of good stuff here. I think we might have a special giveaway next week. You'll have to tune in and find out, okay? But a special giveaway next week with the Smith team. Something, probably the most expensive thing I think I've ever given away on the show.
Wow.
Mike's going to tune in. He's curious now.
There you go. Yeah.
So is Tammy.
Yeah. Lots of good stuff out there for you guys. Check out the channel. We are at 259 subscribers. Who's going to be number 260? It could be you. It could be you. No, it can't be you because you're already subscribed. It could be you, but we'd love it to be you. Make sure you hit that subscribe button.